All right, well, continuing on.
Yes, sir.
We received a email from, what's this fella's name here?
Okay.
Let me look at this guy's name. He sent us an email. Where is it? I just saw it earlier today.
Doom.
Oh, well, I'll find it.
Searching.
Yeah, there was an email from a guy. He started a website that basically ranks the top 20 metal shows out there.
I sent that to you, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. It was in the request email as well.
Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name.
Jim Smith.
I don't know what nationality he is. It's Anuj, A-N-U-J.
Mm-hmm.
A-G-A-R-W-A-L. Is it Aguarbal?
Yeah, Simpson.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Well, he put together this whole website that ranks the best metal shows out there.
Yeah, the best metal podcasts or whatever.
Yeah, it's called Feedspot.
Feedspot.
And I guess like you, this is a guy that's probably trying to capitalize on creating a website that promotes existing stuff out there. So I guess it's sort of like piggybacking on what it already exists. That's just that he compiles it for us.
Right. Thanks.
So this is the top 20 metal music, audio, podcasts, and radio that you must subscribe and listen to in 2019.
All right, let me grab my phone so I can get some subs in here.
All right, and this was just updated today.
Okay.
So this is fresh, hot off the press.
All right.
Metal Music Podcast, the best metal music podcast from thousands of metal music podcasts on the web using search and social media metrics. Subscribe to these audio podcasts because they are actively working to educate, inspire, and empower their readers with frequent updates and high-quality episodes.
Wow.
So do you think he actually went through and listened to all these, or did he just go by the data?
Probably just the data.
Of course. These podcasts are ranked based on the following criteria.
All right.
This is like trying to get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
The Google reputation and Google search rankings.
Look at that. Wow.
Influence and popularity on
Facebook,
Twitter, and other social media sites.
Okay.
Quality and consistency of the episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And Feedspot's editorial team. He's got a team.
Oh, the team is evaluating.
And expert review.
Okay.
Who do you think he employs to expertly review these podcasts?
I don't know. Who would be an expert? Eddie Trunk?
I don't know the answer.
Is Eddie on this list?
He is not on this list.
What?
That is true. The Metal Music Podcast newsletter is a comprehensive summary of the day's most important. Oh, I love that word when they throw that in there. This is a really important podcast.
Damn straight.
Yeah. Audio podcast episode from the best podcast producers on the web and delivered to your email inbox each morning. To subscribe, simply provide blah, 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 blah. So you could sign up and they'll send you the link to the latest episode of your favorite metal podcast because you can't bookmark that yourself.
Yes, of course.
Apparently not. They do the work for you.
Fine with me. If we're on this list, then fine with me.
Yeah. So here we go. Metal Music Podcast at number 1. Or should I go from 20 up to 1?
Go from 20 to 1.
We'll go to 20 to 1. Okay. Coming in at number 20, we've got the Metal Moment Podcast.
Which I do listen to.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I wasn't aware.
Metal Moment's good.
This podcast is the only place on the web where you can experience metal in Japanese and English.
Yeah.
There's about 2 posts per month. They've been around since 2008. And they have 217 fans on Facebook, and they have Twitter 1,946 followers on Twitter.
Only 200 on Facebook?
217.
Jeez. Yeah, they were a Blog Talk Radio specialty for a long time.
Yep.
They were like the first good one on Blog Talk Radio.
Metal Moment Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
All right, coming in at 19. This podcast is out of Louisville, Kentucky. Mm-hmm. The Sons of Metal Podcast.
Don't know it.
Every month, CHR and Doug discuss 6 heavy metal albums, 2 newer releases, 1 indie small label band, and 1 class album. The different ages, backgrounds, and tastes make for some interesting takes on a wide variety of music. They post about 1 episode a month.
Wow. All right.
They've only got 38 Facebook fans and about 141 on Twitter.
I thought they said this was important. The ranking on Facebook and Twitter.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
At 18, we've got Phil's Breakfast Metal.
Phil's Breakfast Metal?
Phil's Breakfast Metal.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Feed your head with metal.
Okay.
This is out of Bristol, UK.
Okay.
It's a heavy metal discussion show. Each episode, the 2 hosts, Rob Cooper and Phil Waddy, cover interesting elements from the metal world, from bands as big as Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath to more underground bands like Voices, Oceans of Slumber, and Leprous.
Wow.
They post about 1 episode a month.
Okay.
And they've been around since July of 2016.
All right.
And they got 164 Facebook followers and 151 Twitter followers.
All right.
Coming in at 17, we've got Full Metal Hipster Podcast.
Full Metal Hipster?
Full Metal Hipster, not Full Metal Jackie, but Full Metal Hipster.
I can assure you anything with the word hipster I'm not subscribed to.
This podcast is about underground heavy metal, death music, and more. They post about 2 episodes per month, and they've been around since 2012, and they got about 728 Facebook followers and 1,942 Twitter followers.
Okay, good.
At 16, we got one called Are You Morbid? Heavy Metal Podcast.
I've listened to it.
This one comes out of Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Thrill as 3 white men, well, that's taboo right away, discuss women's role in music, the irony of intolerance in metal, the importance of comedy, and a horrible Dead Can Dance concert. I don't know. What is that?
Dead Can Dance was a bad dance band.
Okay. They put out about 2 posts a month, and they've been around since 2017, and they've got 4,625 Facebook followers and 146 Twitter followers.
Well, they're kicking ass.
At 15, we've got Heavy Metal History Podcast.
Okay.
It's a heavy metal podcast hosted by Dustin with the depth narration of how the bands made the records, or having guests from metal bands to discuss various influences, histories of their bands, and behind the scenes, the stories, the struggles, the triumphs, and how their records were written and recorded. They put out about one a month.
Oh, good.
Well, these guys don't put out very much content at all.
No, not at all.
How do you get a following if you only put up 1 podcast a month?
I guess if people subscribe to all of them, then they have enough content for a month.
I guess. They've got 225 Facebook followers and 319 Twitter followers.
And there's your answer. They don't have a following.
Yeah. Then you got at number 14, the Radioactive Metal Podcast out of Orlando, Florida, and Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Okay.
The podcast is the one-stop destination for metal news, interviews of famous artists in the metal industry, their views, tunes, and more. They put out 1 episode a week.
There you go.
They don't have a Facebook page, and they have 991 followers on the Twitter.
Well, good. Almost 1,000.
Almost 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
At 13, we got Focus on Metal.
We know that one.
The show features interviews with metal's most important personalities, the latest metal headlines, captivating topics, great music, reviews of the latest, and plenty of the segments from contributing metal heads. They
That's
put out
Richie's podcast, right?
Yes.
Irish Richard.
Yeah. They put out about 3 episodes a month. They've been around since 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got 3,983 Facebook fans, and they don't have a Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
At 12, you got the In the Combine Metal what is this called? Into the Combine Metal Podcast.
Don't know that one.
That's a bizarre name. Into the Combine?
Into the Combine.
Yeah.
All right.
This is out of Detroit, Michigan. 3 metal fans bring you the elitist free podcast featuring interviews, discussions, and music clips on all things metal and hardcore. They put out one a month. They got 602 Facebook fans and 4,672 Twitter fans.
Mm-hmm. So big on Twitter.
Yep.
Okay.
We've got at number 11, Requiem Metal Podcast out of Michigan.
Okay.
It's a podcast is all about heavy metal and metal music industry. They put out about one a month. They don't have a Facebook, and they got 482 followers on Twitter.
All right, good.
At number 10, we've got Metal Matters Podcast.
Metal Matters Podcast.
Metal Matters, a Gimme Radio podcast, is a weekly podcast hosted by Mike Hill, frontman of Metal Blade record artist Tomb.
Okay.
If you love metal and extreme music, tune in every week for discussions about classic records, up-and-coming bands, and interviews with your favorite artists. About 4 a month, so I put out about once a week.
Right.
They've been around since October of 2018, and they've got 1,118 Facebook fans, and they've got 60 Twitter followers.
Right.
At number 9, we've got Black Knight Meditation Podcast out of Plymouth, New Hampshire.
Wow, the Black Knight Metal Podcast.
Yep.
Don't know.
This podcast gives you a daily dose of all things metal. Keep up with Black Death, Speed, Thrash, Doom, Shred, Prog, Power, Folk, and Traditional Metal, and more.
Right.
They put out, it says give your daily podcast, but it says they only put out 1 post a month.
It's a long day.
Yeah, gives you a daily dose, but 1 post per month.
That's right.
I don't get that. Okay. I don't think their reviewers did a good job.
You don't think?
No.
This isn't a qualified review you were expecting?
I am not. I was expecting that their team was looking into each of these and dissecting them for thoroughness and quality.
Yeah, maybe they just missed it.
I'm sorry. I'm starting to doubt that now.
Okay.
Okay. At number 8, you've got Metal Up Your Podcast out of Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh boy.
They should.
Metal
It's a short drive to the Rock and Pod Expo for them.
That's what. Okay.
They're in Nashville.
Yeah, I get it. Where they go?
From all over the world, on tour or on their respective studios in Nashville, ride the lightning with them on a weekly episode as they explore all things Metallica.
Ooh, I might have to subscribe to that one.
About 2 posts a week.
All right.
They've been around since 2017, and they've got 828 Facebook fans and 1,227 Twitter fans.
Okay.
At number 7, you've got Metal and High Heels.
Metal and High Heels.
Metal and High Heels.
Is that a KISS podcast?
This would be Metal and High Heels is a podcast about women and metal music, covering the latest news on the metal scene and other interesting topics that are part of the daily life of metalheads.
All right, that one is called Skip This Podcast.
They put out about 4 a month.
Oh, good.
And they've got 2,547 Facebook fans and 394 Twitter followers.
Good for them.
Coming in at number 6, we got Talking Metal out of New Jersey.
Hey.
The podcast is all about metal music, and the host, Mark Strigl, interviews some of the famous personalities from the metal music industry, about 4 episodes a month. Now, I know this is wrong. It says they've been around since 2017, but that's wrong. Facebook fans, 2,864, and Twitter followers, 10,843.
Damn, 10,000 on Twitter. Wow.
At number 5, we've got the Josta Show.
Jamie Josta from Hatebreed.
Right. Musician, former television host, and podcaster Jamie Josta interviews your heroes every Monday and Thursday. The newest 15 episodes are always free, but if you want to access all of the archives, watch live, chat live, access to the forums, and get the show a week before it comes out everywhere else, you can subscribe to this podcast, about 2 posts a week.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got 70,206 Facebook fans and 157,000 Twitter followers.
Well, that's what you get when you're a celebrity.
Yeah. Well, it's just like what Adam Carolla said to, who was it, that Joe Rogan. He says, what's the secret to having a successful podcast? You got to be famous.
Yeah, you got to be famous first.
Yeah.
I will say Josta's podcast is really good, though. I am subscribed to that one.
All right.
He does a good job.
At number 4, you got the Metal Sucks podcast.
Okay.
The official podcast of Metal Sucks. Peter Spajic, Brandon Hahn, and Jocelyn Sharp. One of the featured interviews each week with a prominent metal musician and discussion of the latest headlines in metal news. About 3 a month.
Yeah, not my favorite. I've been subscribed to that before, and I canceled.
Okay.
Subscribed. I didn't enjoy it very much.
Well, they've got almost 500,000 Facebook fans, 495,000.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got 91,000 Twitter followers.
Well, Metal Sucks is a big site.
Mm-hmm.
Metal Sucks is like number 2 or 3 right behind Blabbermouth.
Sure.
It's a big.
At number 3, you've got the Metal Hammer podcast out of London, England.
Okay.
All the biggest news and hottest topics from the world of metal from Merlin, Eleanor, and Luke at the Metal Hammer podcast.
All right.
They do about 4 a month, and they've got 2,058,165 Facebook fans.
Wow.
And they've got 526,000 Twitter followers.
Jesus Christ, 2 million.
Yeah.
Never even heard of them.
Metal Hammer?
Oh, Metal Hammer, the magazine?
Yeah.
I was thinking that it was not related. Okay, then that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check it out.
All right, at number 2, you've got the almighty, the Classic Metal Show.
Yay, we're number 2.
We're number 2.
Now, how did we beat out a site that has 2 million followers?
I think it's our content. I think we put out more content than anybody.
Think that's it?
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
The Classic Metal Show is the premier comedy and rock and roll metal show online.
Wow.
The show features the comedy stylings of Neely and Chris Aiken.
Mm-hmm.
They put out about 8 posts a week.
Wow.
They've got 7,377 Facebook fans and 1,447 Twitter fans.
Look at us go.
Yeah, look at us at number 2.
We're number 2.
We're number 2. And then coming in at number 1 from Brooklyn, New York, Metal Injection Podcast.
That's a good show.
The leading metal news, metal music, video, and metal tour dates since the internet. Get your fix of Metal Injection, about 1 episode a week. Mm-hmm. They've got 1,216,000 Facebook followers, and they've got 193,000 Twitter followers.
So literally, we're in between 1 and 3. Each of them has over 1 million followers.
Yes, that is correct.
But we're in between there with our 7,000.
Yeah, because we put out more episodes a week.
Right, because we put out a shit ton of content.
It is Google reputation and Google search rankings, quality and consistency of the episodes.
Okay. Well, cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We're number 2. I'll take that.
Yeah. So for Feedspot, we have done our job and given him some plugs.
Surprised none of our friends really made it other than Talking Metal and Focus on Metal.
That's it.
No Toomey, no Decibel Geek, no Michael Butler. None of those.
Well, are they listed under metal or are they music?
Maybe that's it. I don't know why we're listed under metal, but I guess because of the name.
Well, probably because of the name.
Yeah. No Trunk?
No Eddie Trunk, but he's not under metal.
No I Want to Talk, the D. Snyder podcast?
Again, I don't know.
That's a pretty good podcast, by the way. If you would like that one.
Okay.
I Want to Talk podcast, that's pretty good. D's a pretty good podcast guy. All right, well, hey, we're number 2. We're number 2.
Yay! We're number 2.
Yeah, we're going to celebrate tonight, baby. We're number 2. It's funny. All right, well, good for us.
Mm-hmm.
Pew, 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 pew. Number 2.
All right, well, we made the big time.
Yeah, we've made that. What was it called? The Feed Blog podcast?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Whatever it is, thank you.
It's called Feedspot.
The Feedspot blog.
Yeah.
Man, we have hit the big time.
We have hit the big time.
We are there. All right.
So there you are. If you're interested in metal of all sorts, there's a whole listing for you. So go over to Feedspot if you want to subscribe and have an alert sent to your email that, hey, there's a new episode.
Yeah. They'll hook you right up.
Right.